Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. Today we're going to talk about giving. Give generously. 2 Corinthians 9 verse 6 to verse 9 says, "Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. As it is written, they have freely scattered their gifts to the poor, their righteousness endures forever." In recent times, we have seen and heard of the huge acts of generosity of some super rich persons. That is admirable. Then we see generosity displayed when there are disasters of one kind or another. People give generously to people who are victims of natural disasters or other crises. Then there are smaller efforts to raise funds to help families in need, to bury loved ones, to help people who can't afford housing, to help children who are in need, especially at this time as people get ready to send their kids back to school. Today I want to talk with you about giving. And maybe you are a generous person. Regardless, let us talk about it. There is a fundamental rule in giving that is embedded in the text. When you give, you will receive. I love how the writer uses the analogy of sowing and reaping because it is so relevant and it speaks directly to the point he is making. Ask any farmer who is into planting fruit trees, vegetables, flowers. Every farmer who plants expects to reap. That idea originated with God, and he designed it in such a way that the reaping will represent rewards, positive outcomes, and it would serve as a huge encouragement to the farmer. Jesus used that same principle when he taught his followers about giving. He said, "When you give, it will come back to you." Jesus was saying, if you plant seeds of giving, you will reap harvests of receiving. Got it? When you give to someone, you will receive. Now, don't get me wrong. You will probably not receive from the same person you gave. In fact, Jesus said that to be more creative and more adventurous, don't give to people who are in a position to give back to you. That is boring, and you don't really get to experience the fun side of giving. Instead, give to persons who are in need and give without expecting something back from them. Here is a secret. God sees your heart, and he sees what you give and who you give to. He will ensure that you get back what you give, and many times from the most unexpected source. How do we give? That is the heart of giving, my friend. The text says if you give a little, you will receive a little. If you give much, you will receive much. Stop there for a minute. Don't think you are going to outsmart God or you are going to back God into a corner. It is less about the dollar value of your gift, my friend. It is more about the sincerity in your heart. It is more about what you want to give from a place of sincerity. That's how it is. Make a decision in your heart to give and give what you can afford to give. Don't give in disdain. Don't give out of a sense of pity. Don't give for show. Don't give because you want to impress. Give sincerely. If all you can afford to give someone is a small amount, that must be coming from a generous heart, and that is how God will honor you. Sometimes we think that when rotten rich people give large donations, that it doesn't make a dent in their wealth. And maybe it doesn't, but it is entirely up to them. The principle is, do not give with ulterior motive and do not give sparingly. And why is this so? Why does God encourage us to give generously? Simple. The text says that God is able. He is able to give you in abundance because he never runs out of supplies. He has such a storehouse of blessing. He doesn't have to postpone your returns because he is waiting for more funds or supplies to come in. God has it all. A third point I want to pick from the text is that, please, when you give, enjoy the act of giving. I don't mean that you have to have cameras and what have you and make a photo op about it and ensure that everyone sees what you are giving and to whom you are giving. No, that's not what I'm talking about. In fact, the less publicity you try to get out of it, the better. God says to us, give cheerfully, give in love. Let the person who receives your gift sees and knows that you are happy, that you are honored, that you enjoy giving. This is because you are giving from a pure heart. I would say make sure every act of giving is accompanied by the pure act of love. What can you give? Some people easily give money or resources. When you give quality that you would want somebody to give back to you. Some persons give of their time and their talents. It's hurricane season where I live, and there are some people who generously give of their time and skills to put up shutters for families who don't have the manpower or the resources to do that. And they do it for free, and they do it without fanfare. My friend, you might be able to serve in the distribution of food and goods to less fortunate people. Do so with all the principles of this text. Do so sincerely. Do so lovingly. Do so generously. Do so as if you are giving back to God. That's it. When you give, imagine that you are giving to God. You can't fool God, my friend. And like the text says, when you give generously, when you sow generously, you are guaranteed to receive generously from God.